Let me just do a comparison for you. So, I set up my campaign, and we have our own data operation. I get the nomination. So I'm now the nominee of the Democratic Party. I inherit nothing from the Democratic Party.
What do you mean nothing?
I mean, it was bankrupt. It was on the verge of insolvency. Its data was mediocre to poor, non-existent, wrong. I had to inject money into it.
This is the DNC.
The DNC to keep it going. Okay. Donald Trump, who did nothing about really setting up any kind of data operation, inherits an RNC data foundation that after the Republicans lost in 2012, and they thought they had a very good operation with the setup that Romney did, called Orca. They thought that was really state-of-the-art. They lose. So they raised, best estimates are close to $100 million. They brought in their main vendors. They basically said, we will never be behind the Democrats again. And they invested between 2012 and 2016 this $100 million to build this data foundation. They beta tested it. They ran it. Somebody was able to determine about 227,000 surveys to double-check, triple-check, quadruple-check the information. So Trump becomes the nominee, and he is basically handed this tried and true, effective foundation. Then you've got Cambridge Analytica, and you can believe the hype on how great they were or the hype on how they weren't. The fact is they added something. And I think, again, we better understand that. The Mercers did not invest all that money just for their own amusement. We know they played in Brexit. And we know that they came to Jared Kushner and basically said, we will marry our operation, which was more, as it's been described, psychographic sentiment, a lot of harvesting of Facebook information. We will marry that with the RNC. On two conditions: you pick Steve Bannon and you pick Kellyanne Conway, and then we're in. Trump says, fine, who cares, right? So Bannon, who'd been running the Breitbart operation, supplying a lot of the untrue, false stories.
Let's start saying lies.
Yeah, we know. So they married content with delivery and data. And it was a potent combination. Now, the question is, where and how did the Russians get into this? And I think it's a very important question. So I assume that a lot of the people here may have, and if you haven't, I hope you will, read the declassified report by the intelligence community that came out in early January.
This is 17 agencies. 17
agencies, all in agreement, which I know from my experience as a senator and secretary of state is hard to get. They concluded with high confidence that the Russians ran an extensive information war campaign against my campaign to influence voters in the election.